Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the nature versus nurture. How do we acquire our first language? Well, to understand, first of all we need to know what a language is. According to Oxford Dictionary, language is defined as the words used by the people of a country, which can be understood as the way that people communicates. But when we talk about language, there is a question that even in our times can be answered. Is language something we are born with? Or is something that we learn? Well, to answer this question, there are three theories. The first of all, the nativism, the empiricism, and the last one, the functionalism. These three theories will be explained now. So, let's get started.
The nativism is the theory of linguistics with Noam Chomsky as the greatest exponent. The theory is based on the idea that humans have an universal grammar and all of us were born with the proficiency and ability to speak. One important argument is the poverty of the stimulus, which says that humans are born with a specific representational adaptation for language that both funds and limits their competence to acquire specific types of natural languages. Another argument is the vastness of language that explains how there is a breathtaking number of sentences that we are capable to produce without an exact repetition. And at least we have the explanation that all languages share similar set of rules that combine words to convey relationships among concepts. To illustrate the theory, a proper example is when children are capable of inventing sentences even without academic or parents' instructions.
Then we have the second theory.
The name of this theory is empiricism. His major exponent is Geoffrey Sampson. This theory says that language acquisition has to do with habit formation and development due to a repeated exposure to language. So it considers language as a cultural artifact used by humans. The main arguments are the exposure to language allows us to learn it and use it. The environment and language are the key in language acquisition, and that language is external, so we don't have previous knowledge about it. A good example to understand this theory is a child can draw enough linguistic information from his environment and then make relations in order to acquire language. At the beginning, this relation has to do with sounds, and later on with grammar.
And then we have the third theory.
Functionalism. The major exponent of functionalism is Michael Halliday, with his theory called systemic grammar, a grammar of meaningful choices rather than of formal rules. The theory is based on the statement that people develops language as the context determines it. The communicative situation determines the grammatical structure. Some arguments in favor of functionalism are that it provides learners autonomy and promotes self-monitoring of the creation of the own language. Functionalism also gives more freedom and less stress to learner, because the speaker is free to create any words if he needs them. And last but not least, functionalism grants poetic license. For example, it allows people to say poems like, "I went to the beach with my nanny, who had a hard time getting tanny." As you may know, tanny is a creative word for this context.
Well, now that the three theories have been already explained, it's time to choose which theory do we think it's better. At this time, you maybe have thought about which theory do you prefer or which theory is better. Or maybe you don't. But as a group we think that the nativism is the best theory to explain the language acquisition, because it gives a reasonable explanation for language acquisition. Also, we think that it can be considered as a scientific theory. Even when it can't be proven yet, and it isn't a scientific theory, we think that this can be one of those things that differentiate us from animals, for example. And it's more complete than the other theories. This because we think that the arguments that Chomsky gives to argue his theory are more powerful than the arguments that the other authors give to support their theories. So, the winner this time it's Noam Chomsky. We hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and see you next time.